Welcome to the Hot Mom Energy podcast. I've decided to rebrand yet again. I'm still pretty in the city on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok, but I thought a podcast with a rebrand would just feel more, I don't know, like myself right now. I'm 8 months pregnant, almost 9 months pregnant, I guess. And I didn't think I'd ever be like the mom blogger or anything, but I'm just being true to myself and actually, yeah, I can be a momfluencer. So that's just the stage we're in, but I thought Hot Mom Energy would be really cute, and then later on down the road we can make merch and stuff, but I thought it would be fitting to talk about pregnancy and that sort of thing, because I'm not really in the motherhood part of my journey yet because she's still growing in my belly. But I am having a daughter. The due date is June 26th, 2023. And I think she's gonna come the 22nd or a little bit earlier. So far, I've just been really on things about I wrote down at the beginning of last year when we would conceive, like the day of, like almost a whole year in advance. And I was right. And I knew it was a girl long before I was pregnant, like almost a year before I was pregnant. I was like, oh, we're having a daughter. And I had actually already bought a bunch of clothes and stuff for her. So it turned, like, that's great that she is a girl. I'm impatient. Anyways. So let's talk about pregnancy a little bit here, because there are some things that I definitely was ready for, and then other things that are so mild that it doesn't make any sense why these things happen during pregnancy. But I'm sure some of you guys can relate to some of this. So growing up, if you don't know my whole life story, I'm the oldest of almost soon to be 8. My parents have adopted one child, and they're in the process of adopting a 5-year-old foster daughter, but my mom has been pregnant with 6 of us. And so I'm the oldest, and I basically always had a pregnant mom who, honestly, I don't know how or why she wanted to be pregnant so much, especially with having us all like a year and a half, 2 years apart. She, knowing me and how I'm pregnant, and I would not want to be chasing around a million other kids while being pregnant. That's insane. But that being said, pregnancy was not a mystery to me, and neither was childbirth. So I am actually not nervous about childbirth, really, at all. I've been in the room with her for 2 of them, and she always did a really good job of taking old cassette videos of they're family videos, but some she got some graphic ones, and I'm really thankful for that because I'm thankful for that because we just got to grow up so used to all of that. She would breastfeed in front of us, I'm sure she pumped. I don't really remember all of that, but I just have such a peace about all of this, especially because I'm 8 or 9 weeks away from giving birth. I just feel like I have a really solid foundation, and I get to have quite a few people in the room with me. So I'll have my mom, Carter's mom, Grace, my sister, and then obviously Carter. So I'm really excited, honestly, about that. I'm gonna try to labor at home most of that, but I'll just do a whole separate episode on my plan, my birth plan and all of that, and my hopes and desires and dreams and manifestations. So anyways, off track. Things that I was prepared for pregnancy was throwing up. I was fully prepared to throw up. It's awful. But I was I'll go get acupuncture, I'll take medicine, I'll do what I need to do. I did not get sick once. I did get food poisoning early on in my pregnancy for a few hours. I was throwing up, but then besides that, I did not get sick at all or nauseous even. Like, it wasn't like, yeah. First trimester, I was exhausted. I intentionally planned my pregnancy out the way that I did so that I could have like my biggest belly in the summer and have a tan, like a natural tan for when I give birth and I'm in delivery, so I don't have to deal with a spray tan. If you think that's ridiculous, it is, but these are things that I think about and that are important to me. And then also just being able to be postpartum in the summer in the sunshine, I think will help greatly. I think if I personally had to be postpartum in the winter, that would not be good for me because I just already, deal with seasons deeply. Anyways, so that I didn't even think about postpartum necessarily, but now that I'm getting here, I'm like, oh, I'm so thankful it's summertime and sunshine and everything. My biggest reason for wanting to get pregnant October 1st is so that she would be born sometime in June or July so that she could have a summer birthday. Me and Carter both have winter birthdays, and we have, like, growing up, we always wanted to be able to have pool parties and stuff as our birthday party. So we wanted to give our child a fighting chance for that. And we were fortunate enough that we got pregnant the exact day we wanted to, and that we didn't struggle with infertility at all. Something else that I was anticipating for pregnancy, but it kind of differed from what I was thinking, like what I had in mind. So cravings and what's the word? Oh, by the way, pregnancy brain is so real, it's insane. Some days it's like really insanely hard to function. Like, it's so stupid. Like, I'll start the washer and like our laundry and forget to close the thing so it doesn't finish its cycle, or I'll move everything to the dryer and not start it, or I'll load the dishwasher and think I started it, or I'll put the soap pot in and then just not start it. I'll think I've put like leftovers back away in the fridge and I haven't. Just like a lot of like forgetful things. Sometimes like I'll be like, we'll have just had a conversation and I'm like, can we have this conversation again? Because I have no idea what's going on. So that's on pregnancy brain. But cravings and food aversions, that was the other thing. So I thought they were going to be so much more intense than they were. Like, I thought it was going to be like a hard no or hard yes. And it really wasn't quite like that. Honestly, my food aversions started, which they were like just not even food aversions, it's just so mild. Like, none of it made me sick or anything. It's like I just didn't want it. But that's how I figured out I was pregnant like a week and a half in, because I didn't have coffee one day and I didn't think about it until the next day. And I realized that I'd made coffee both days, but I had not had any of it to drink except for maybe one sip. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I always have my morning coffee. It's like my ritual. And so that was like a big reason I was like, okay, I think I'm pregnant. And we took a pregnancy test and it was positive, but we had taken pregnancy tests a few weeks before. And I thought, because we'd kind of started trying a little bit earlier than October 1, like we had originally planned. And my friend would have me taking pregnancy tests. And we had basically made up a line, like a faint line on a pregnancy test. And, but this one was faint as well. But there was a whole line, everyone could see it. It wasn't we were on our phones, we'd taken a picture and we were drawing where you can kind of see the line. But then I was in my head about it, because I was like, well, I don't want to get my hopes up if I'm not actually pregnant. Meanwhile, I'm also wrestling with hormones, and I'm like, actually, I don't want to be pregnant. I don't want a kid right now. So all of that in 2 days, or a day before, I was like, I don't want to be pregnant. And then the next day we get the test and I'm like, I'm gonna go to the doctor and get a blood test because I don't trust it. So I went and got the blood test, waited a few hours, and then when we found out, we like got the results, it was like all doctor speak. It was like, this number is greater than this number, and I was like, we have to do some mathematical calculations to figure out what this means. And I just called my friend and I was like, does this mean I'm pregnant or not? And she was like, you're pregnant. So then we like immediately told my family. Didn't even get any of it on video. I can't keep a secret to save my life. And I just, yeah, I told everyone immediately. And yeah, but so coffee was an aversion, which I did not plan on taking caffeine out of my diet. It is safe if you choose to keep caffeine in your lifestyle while you're pregnant. I think it's 200 milligrams is like what's suggested or safe. And I thought it was just like 1 cup of coffee, like 1 small latte or something. So for my first trimester, I actually didn't want coffee at all, but I wanted to want it so bad. But second trimester, I did want coffee again, and I drank it like every day, like once a day. And then third trimester, it's kind of like wishy-washy. I'm like really picky, or like I don't want as much. Like I'll take a few sips and be like, I'm done. I thought pregnancy was going to be my most like holistic wellness self-care journey. And I mean, it was, but in a very different way than I had envisioned. I was like gonna eat so clean and, you know, get massages every 2 weeks once I was out of my first trimester. Like I really wanted to take care of my body and like really focus on my flexibility in my lower half, obviously, to not tear, and everything. And while I have been taking very good care of myself, it was slightly different than what I thought, because with the food aversions, a lot of the healthy food I normally love didn't sound good at all. Like I didn't want to eat it. Like vegetables, like it was like I had to trick myself. Like I was like a kid not wanting to eat their vegetables. Like I have to like put it in things, make green smoothies, that sort of thing. And I ate a lot more fast food than I thought than I have in years. So I definitely didn't plan for that. We actually ended up having to get DoorDash because it was to the point where I needed to eat something different every day for breakfast and lunch, and then dinners we would try to cook or eat out, whatever. So that was definitely like mentally hard for me because I don't like to do that. I prefer to eat healthier. And then I just didn't, I prefer to eat healthier, but also I was just not, like, it's hard on my body to eat like that. Like it's not good for you. Like it's good for your soul and like it was nourishment or whatever, but that was also hard on my body. And mentally I was like, I do not like that I'm eating out this much, but had to eat. I gave myself a break. Again, once the first trimester was over, things have been back to normal, a lot better. And like the first trimester, I was so tired. I like really wanted to keep moving my body, but for the most part, I really just, sleep has been like the biggest priority. I've just been so tired. First trimester, I basically hibernated in the winter, which was great for the first trimester because I wasn't missing out on anything really. Like I wasn't missing out on being at the pool. I've had more back pain while sleeping and like hip pain sleeping on my stomach, or sleeping on my side, sorry, because you can't sleep on your stomach. And that's something I wish I wouldn't have taken so intensely. At first, the moment I found out I was pregnant, I stopped sleeping on my stomach, and I'm a stomach sleeper, when realistically I probably could have slept on my stomach for the first trimester fully. But now I'm to the point where it's like I'm huge. If I roll over, I feel a baby in my stomach, you know, gravity. And anyways, I sleep with like 1,000 pillows. I've tried sitting up straight to help everything. I've tried sleeping on the couch. Like it's like every few nights is different. So I do what I can. I get up so much to pee, which before I had an overactive bladder, and so I still was getting up to pee quite a bit, but now it's like once an hour. It's gotta be. And then plus, I'm waking up in the middle of the night really thirsty. So I'm like chugging water, which is, it's not making me pee any more often because I'd still have to get up even if it was a trickle, but it's just like a full bladder now. Something that I did not know about or expect to experience, but that is not necessarily common, but it happens to other people, is colostrum letdown at a very early stage. It was 20 weeks, and me and Carter were having fun, and I'm on top, and he was like, babe, he was like, I think you just you just leaked on me. And I was like, what? No way. And sure enough, there was like a drop on his chest, and we were like, what the heck? And it was clear. It was colostrum. It was like really thick and oily, and then we tasted it, and I was like, oh, that's what breast milk tastes like, so that's got to be it. And so then just like every now and then, like I would like have like a few drops or something. I was saying a lot of times, I would be like, oh my God, my nipples are so hard that they're cold. And then finally one day I looked down and I was like, actually there's a drop of like colostrum on my shirt, and it's like mixing with the AC, and it's making it's like feels cold. And I was like, okay, so that's weird. Like I'm having a few drops here and there. And then one day, what was I, 28 weeks? I was 26 weeks or 28 weeks. And I was just babysitting the girls that I watch. And my left boob just leaked like so much through a t-shirt and a sweatshirt, like all the way through. And so I was like, well, that's weird. And so then I was like, well, maybe I can like pump some of this. I have a Willow breast pump. And those are great and convenient. Like took a second to figure out how to use it, and it's obviously going to be a whole different experience using it whenever it's breast milk and not colostrum, because colostrum is just a completely different substance. But anyways, so I decided to just try pumping at it was 28 weeks when I was like, okay, let's just figure out how to set this up. There's an app. It's not complicated, but whenever you first get into it, it is. So I'm like, okay, we're gonna pump and see if anything happens. And it's like a 25-minute pump session, and I got quite a bit out. I don't know how much, like it was probably like half an ounce, like with both boobs being pumped. So like together I got half an ounce. And so that seemed really cool to me, but also like I knew that maybe wasn't like a whole lot. I just had nothing to really compare this to, especially so early on, but I had a midwife appointment the next day. So I took a picture of like what I pumped out colostrum wise, and was like asking them about it and if it was safe to do that and everything, because some of my friends were like, it could cause contractions, it could put you into labor and this and that. And the midwives confirmed that it will not put me in labor. And I don't know if that's a blanket statement or if that was just for me specifically, because they're my providers and they know me and they've been keeping track of me, that it was fine. They did suggest waiting until I was 34 weeks because of nipple soreness. Like it can cause nipple soreness. And then I was like, okay, well then I'll just wait. A few days later, I was like, I'm not gonna wait. I trust my body. It's producing colostrum. I would prefer to collect it than waste it on a pair of clothes that I have to wash it out of. And my nipples are gonna get sore anyways, even whenever I start breastfeeding, which this actually made me feel a lot better about breastfeeding, because pumping isn't so bad. It's not like this glorious feeling, but it's comfortable. So I started doing that, and one of the midwives was really impressed that I was even willing to use a breast pump, at least so early on. She mentioned that she was really intimidated to even put the breast pump on her boob. And I was like, oh, I didn't even think about it, because I just am very like gung-ho about things. So if you are nervous about a breast pump, don't be, or you can be nervous but do it anyways because you can do it. Don't let it intimidate you. in the most positive way. Don't let it intimidate you. Your boobs, your body, you own it. Anyways, so I was like pumping, like trying to be like consistently like every other night, sometimes 2 nights in a row. And I just bought off of Amazon a box of 100 like little syringes, like plastic giving kids medicine syringes. I decided to get the 10 mil, like the 10 milliliter syringes, because I was like, I think my body is gonna produce quite a bit for the most part, and for the most part it has. I had been consistently getting 5 to 10 milliliters of colostrum pumping, with that's like both boobs adding up to that. And then the other night it was like a lot lower, and I immediately was in it, like this one was dry, this one had like 1 milliliter, and I was like, this is worth saving, this is liquid gold, I'm gonna save it. And I started to see how people get discouraged with that sort of thing, and like milk production and stuff, and like how it could like really like get stuck in your head and you want to make it better. And I was like just talking to Carter about it, and he was like, you know, like your hormones are changing, you're doing all this and that, like who knows. He was like, this is not like a bad thing. And I was like, okay. So then I pumped again the next night, because I was like, I've got to keep an eye on this now, obsessed. And it I was able to pump like 3 milliliters out of like adding up both of them. And yeah, so that's been a really interesting and unique experience, because I've not heard a whole lot of collecting your colostrum so freaking early on, but I'm doing it. And so if you're starting to leak even a little bit, I mean, maybe give it a try after talking to your midwife or OBGYN, whatever practitioner. I will also say that I'm doing a lot of things that like that might not be considered pregnancy safe, because you can't like test things out on pregnant women. That's unethical. So a lot of things, it's like, if we don't have the answer, don't do it. And I've just been like listening to my body and like doing a few things like beauty procedures and like getting in the sauna and just a couple different things that like America has deemed like not okay for pregnancy. But I've been looking a lot at how other countries, like Europe, France, Sweden, Finland, how they like their pregnancy protocols. And now I'm really interested in postpartum protocols. Also China, check out China and their protocols. But it was right before I got pregnant. I was in the sauna at the YMCA, and I was chatting with this lady, and turns out she was a doctor, not a baby doctor of any kind, but she has, you know, experience in the medical field and some knowledge. And I was like, I know, I'm just trying to soak up the sauna as long as I can before I'm pregnant. So we were about to start trying, and she was like, you can still get in the sauna. She was like, you just have to trust your body. She was like, you might not want to be on the very top row, or you might not want to stay in as long. But she was like, she was like, look up how they do it in Finland and Sweden. Like, pregnant people still get in these things, and it's fine. And it's not going to you'd have to be in there for so long for it to change your like internal body temperature for it to actually become dangerous. But many other things could be an issue. This is like why you should, I guess, talk to your practitioner about it, because like, I guess if you have high or low blood pressure, or if you're not hydrating, or like you don't have like a great, I don't know, it just seems like a very wellness centered specific thing for me. But I've also been using like red light therapy, Dr. Dennis Gross face mask at night. I have the new face, which is like an electrical stimulation thing on my face. I didn't do any of this in my first trimester, but after that I was like, I have a very low risk, very healthy pregnancy. Everything's going great. And I've not seen any issues with it. So I don't want to sit here and be like, don't try any of this, but I feel like there's just so much fear based around pregnancy and like what you can and can't do. That's my opinion. Anywho, I'm 31 weeks right now, and I'm already like impatient and want her here. I'm not planning on getting pregnant again. I only want one, at least at this point. And I don't love being pregnant. I don't hate it. Like, I'm having a very mild pregnancy, like I said. Oh, another weird thing that I wasn't expecting is like pregnancy gingivitis or like sensitive gums. Have weird like nose runny, like have a lot more of a runny nose than I normally do, which is very common apparently. Just like a bunch of like little things that I was like, what? Like, why? But anyways, I am to the point where I am getting impatient and trying to keep myself busy. Luckily, we have the baby shower, which is pastel soiree themed. It's elaborate. It's bigger than our wedding. Like almost 100 people are gonna be coming. I'm so excited, but I've been like planning that. I've been prepping for that, getting decorations ready. Like, that's been keeping me really busy. Getting ready for our baby moon. We're going to Nashville. We are excited for that, and that's been keeping me busy. And then being on that trip will be a great distraction. Some books I've been reading to keep me distracted, I've been listening to on Audible, are Wildcat, and I have these all written down, but I'm actually filming on my phone, and so I can't even look at my notes. But I'm currently reading Wildcat, which is about a mom and her son, her baby, and just like navigating life. I'm not even halfway through it yet, but I really like it so far. A book that I got that I've not started yet is called City of Likes, and I think it's about like a mom influencer, and that's just like right up my alley, and the cover is pink and everything. And then I really should look at my notes because I had some good ones in there. Something I was prepared for pregnancy, I mean, as prepared as you can be for it not happening yet, was weight gain. And I'm very vain. I'm very health and wellness, but I understand that like this is what my body needs to do in order to, grow a human and sustain my daughter until she's on the outside. And even then, continue on focusing on like deep nutrition and everything to like breastfeed her and everything, which is something that I'm gonna try and hopefully works out. And if not, then like it doesn't. I have no attachment to that as long as she's eating. But weight gain, this is like, it's hard. I don't know how much I've gained yet. I don't look at this scale whenever I get weighed at my midwife appointments. I will at the end because I am curious, just to see how much. And I keep seeing things on Instagram that are very helpful that are like, it's not just like you're getting fat and you're gaining fat. Some of it is you're, getting fat reservations, not reservations, but like fat reservoirs basically. And you have so much more fluid in your body. The baby's got weight to it now. Your placenta, your uterus, your boobs, the liquid in your boobs. There's like a lot of contributing factors. Like I feel like I have a double chin right now. Not a double chin, but like it's not as tight as it normally is, which is fine. It's only temporary. And I saw Kim Kardashian talking to her sister Kylie, and when Kylie was pregnant, and I guess they didn't know the baby's gender yet, and she was like, I think you're having a girl because you're slightly less glowy than you were with your son. And she was like, she had this theory that when you're pregnant with a girl, they borrow some of your beauty while they're cooking inside of you. And that is definitely the best description I've heard of how I feel, because my husband's like, I feel like you're so beautiful. I feel the exact like opposite. I feel even whenever I'm like in full glam, like I just am like lackluster a little bit, and I'm not like, I'm a very vain person, so like this is just coming from me, and like I'm not like fishing for compliments. That's just like how I am, because like I know I'm beautiful, but like I just feel a little less gorgeous than my normal self. and that's okay. That's just, I'm gonna have such a beautiful baby come out. I'm so excited. It doesn't bother me to share my beauty with her, as long as I get it back. But that has been like a challenge for sure. And then yeah, just feeling like blah, or looking blah, but I'm feeling a lot better. And now it's spring/summer and the sun is out a lot more, and it's just like I can be outside a lot more, and I'm feeling a lot better. Some things that, because I do have extra fluid and I can get like swollen and everything, because like I'm to the point now where like my rings don't fit. I'm gonna wear them for our baby moon and for our baby shower, and I'm gonna like have to like ice my finger to get it on and off, but it'll be okay. And my belly is definitely finally getting bigger. That was another thing I wasn't expecting. I have a very long torso, and it took a really long time for me to show. And I'm showing now, and even then it's still not like this perfectly round belly. And I'm just like, oh, every body is different, even when you're pregnant. Like, it's not like all pregnant ladies look the same. So it was starting to be a concern for me, because I wasn't like intentionally trying to compare myself to other people's bodies, but I was also making sure that like that she's growing enough, you know, and it just happens that she has a bunch of room in there. But my tummy is getting bigger, and I just have like the most comfortable outfit that I sleep in and wear around the house is a medium-sized pair of Skims boyfriend boxers and this t-shirt I got at the Amsden, a local coffee shop. And I was literally, that was like the only thing that fit comfortably. It wasn't too tight on my belly. The t-shirt was oversized. And I was like, I could just feel the best in that. I would literally wash it like every day so I could just wear it like over and over, because where I do want this to be my one and only pregnancy, I was like, I'm not gonna spend a whole lot of money on buying a bunch of like maternity clothes and stuff, because it wasn't gonna fit for very long, and I don't really need it for a very long amount of time. So I was like really just like trying to like scrounge around, like not buying maternity things, because I don't actually like that it goes all the way up your belly. So I just like size up and things. I started to buy like medium-sized leggings or large-sized leggings. And I basically wear the same 2 outfits every day with different sweatshirts. This is Queen of Sparkles, by the way, and this feels like such a mom shirt to me. Like, this is Mom's on Monday. It's got like coffee and stuff on it. Anyways, I was like just gonna bite the bullet and just get a few oversized Skims pieces like in the lounge and more boxers and stuff. And then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna look on Shein, and they had great dupes, and I bought all of these. Okay, I bought like 4 outfits with boxers and biker shorts in size larges, and I think I probably could have just gotten mediums, but like whatever. I'm wearing these so insanely comfortable, loungy, oversized clothes that like aren't meant to be oversized, but it's just like so comfortable on my body. But like if you're planning on having more than one kid, then go ahead and like treat yourself and get the outfits that you're gonna get more use out of than I will with one pregnancy. Something else that I'm loving is lymphatic drainage tools. I like dry brushing. I like body gua sha and like the wooden body lymphatic tool thing. I actually just got like these body gua shas that I keep in the shower with me now. So I actually have this like wet dry brush in the shower and the gua sha to do my body in the shower, so that it's like happening, like doesn't take as long, in my head at least. And then that's been helping. I have these toe separators that are great for my feet, and if you put your feet like on the wall to like elevate, that's been really helpful. Liquid IV, 1 a day in a giant 32 ounce of water, has been really great. That's something I did before I was pregnant, but definitely something I'm seeing like I feel great with, and notice if I don't have it one day that like I'm super thirsty by the end of the day and then have to drink a lot more water before I pee. Okay, I'm going to wrap this episode up, but I will do many, many more Hot Mom Energy podcasts. It was so nice talking to you. Bye, dolls.